Okay, I believe I'm hooked up. Uh, Welcome back to my man cave. I said I didn't know if I was going to be here tonight or not, but it turns out I can be. Wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I've been kind of following along a little bit on social media today, and looks like everybody's having a good time. Everybody's done some amazing cooks. I've seen a lot of good food coming out today. Um, Lots of prime ribs, and I know prime ribs are quite popular at Christmas, and there's no question as to why. That's obviously a seriously good meal. Uh, Seen a lot of good stuff coming, so you guys are doing great work. I've seen a lot of new grills, a lot of new accessories popping up. People have gotten. I've seen a lot of jotisseries, a lot of dojos, and a lot of new grills. So looks like everybody's headed for a prosperous new year. So I wanted to start out tonight, just like we always do. We're going to have a drink, and tonight I'm going to do something a little different, but I am going to have a little bit of my Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. My sister hooked me up with a nice little Christmas gift today. There's a set of I got a set of glasses, and with these glasses came these things called cool stones, and these look like little soapstone cubes that you chill in the freezer and put a couple of them in your glass to chill your drink, where it doesn't dilute your drink, but it chills it a little bit. So I'm gonna give that a try in a little bit of this Jack Daniels and see how that fares, because this particular Jack Daniels, in my opinion, for me as a novice uh, with whiskey, this guy's really stout. This is 133 proof. It's 66% alcohol by volume, and it has quite a bite. It's not a particularly it's not something I would call a beginner's drink. So my whiskey is at room temperature, so I'm gonna geek a little bit here and stick my thermometer in there. We're gonna give it a couple of minutes. Room temperature in here in the man cave is about 68 degrees, 69 degrees. I'm gonna give that a couple of minutes and see if it chills that. But these cool stones, there's 8 of these guys in here, and like I said, I believe these are soapstone. Uh, we can geek out even further, and I can see what the temperature on those is with my IR thermometer. They're reading at 28.2 degrees. They came out of my freezer, but they did not get the full 4 hours that are recommended for pre-chilling those. And plus, the surface of those is going to start to cool immediately when they come out. So let's see if this is chilled down any cooler yet. Well, it's chilled to about, it's down to about 58 degrees, so it is cooling it. You wouldn't want whiskey ice cold. It's kind of like with high gravity beers. Uh, when I've got a high gravity beer, I like to have that, 50, somewhere between 50 and 55 degrees. So you don't want to chill the flavor completely out of it. You just want it to be right kind of in the zone there. So we got a pretty good crowd here for Christmas. I'm surprised. I'm showing that 40 people are linking in with us. Uh, so let's these glasses are kind of nice. Also, it's a really odd shape compared to the glasses I've been using. But like I said, this was a Christmas gift from my sister, and I got some more glasses. My mom gave me a box set that's got 4 crystal glasses in it, and it's got a big decanter in it as well from what was the name brand on that? Maketh the Man is what that was called. Uh, we'll look at those. Those glasses are a little bigger than this one, so we'll look at them later. Let's see what our temperature is in there. It's about 58 still. I'm just a novice still at whiskey tasting, and I'm still not afraid to admit this bottle of whiskey, no matter how good it might be, it's very biting for me. It's that high of an alcohol content I haven't gotten used to yet. It's got a lot of bite. Joe, tonight I've gone back. We're having a glass of the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof, and I'm just talking once again about how this is. It's not a beginner whiskey, and I'm a beginner, and because of that, I'm not particularly fond of it. But I'm experimenting with these Cold Stones that my sister got me for Christmas, and I've got a couple of those in the glass to chill this a little bit because I wanted to see if chilling that would take a little bit of the bite away, and it has. It's made a definite improvement of what I would call the bite level on this particular whiskey. It makes it a little more manageable. Yeah, it does have a little bit of a banana note. I'll agree with that for sure. And that kit also came with a couple of these little rubber coasters, which I maybe should use because one of the other things I wanted to do tonight, I'm showing off my Christmas haul to you guys. Maybe when I was young, my uncle, I have an uncle, I had an aunt and an uncle and some cousins that live out in South Pasadena, California, and my uncle worked for he worked in the furniture industry, and the companies he worked for were here in Western North Carolina where I live. But he came back to North Carolina twice a year for furniture market in April and October, and one of the things he would bring home uh, every time he came in for furniture market was candy. And this candy, this C's famous old time candy, is amazing stuff. And it's a West Coast thing. I don't know how far they've expanded now. This company has expanded out some since they originally started, because I have seen some C's candy shops in various airports, and I don't know what all airports they're in. I know it's in LAX because I've seen it there, but I can't remember if I saw it in Hawaii, and I think I've seen it in several other airports across the nation. But I'm a big fan of these. These are called milk buttercream, and this is going to be kind of dessert tonight. So I'm going to pop this box open, and I'm going to have one of these to go along with my whiskey tonight. These are really decadent. The problem with these things is if you've got no restraint, you can sit here and go through a whole box of those, and that's not good for you. So we've got a chocolate, so we're going to have that to go along with our whiskey. These are absolutely amazing. It's just delicious. And as far as I'm concerned, whiskey goes great with a dessert, especially a Tennessee whiskey. Or I did that wrong. Ron, please forgive me. Especially a Tennessee whiskey. Our tour guide, when we went to Jack Daniel's, every time he would say the term Tennessee whiskey, he would take his hat off and cover his heart with it. It was kind of cool. Those guys are all about the Tennessee whiskey. And I can see why. Like I've said before, my favorite currently in my limited experience with this is this Jack Daniel's single barrel. But the barrel proof is something that I'm going to have grow on me a little bit. Let's see where that is now. It's still down around 58 degrees, so those 4 stones, they might cool this a little more if I had given them the full amount of time. It said to chill those for at least 4 hours, and I don't think mine were in there but an hour and a half, maybe 2. So I might try it again and see how that pans out. So I don't really have an agenda tonight. I just wanted to come online. I've gotten into the habit of doing this, and I enjoy doing it. I enjoy hanging out with some of you guys here on Friday night. I was just playing around something I'm considering doing in the coming year, and if you think this would be fun or if you think this would be entertaining, I want you to leave me a comment here on this stream and let me know. But what I'm thinking about doing is setting up Zoom. I'm thinking about buying the professional level Zoom membership, because that would allow me to have a guest or multiple guests even on a live stream. And I've been thinking about this this week. There's one specific person that I would love to have on a live stream with me in the near future. And if I can make this work, he's going to be my first guest. And if you think doing something like that would be fun, let me know. If I bought a premium, or if I bought what they call the pro membership on Zoom, I can have multiple guests. I think it lets you have up to 100 people, but it also gives me the ability to live stream. So I'm going to play around with that. I'm going to see if I can get my Zoom or my Mevo camera that I use to do these live streams to work with that. If it doesn't, I'll have to use the onboard camera on either my Android tablet here or my laptop. Both of those have onboard cameras, so I should be able to make that work. Jeff's with us tonight. He said he just poured 2 fingers, and Jeff Jeff was showing me some of that Kirkland. I believe it was a Scotch whiskey. What did you buy, Jeff? You showed it to me, and I can't remember what it was. You showed it to me when we were chatting the other night. Is it the Kirkland? Is it a Scotch whiskey that you bought? Who else is having a drink with me tonight? And what are you having? Jeff's got a 12-year blend. Okay. Yeah. Costco in North Carolina sucks when it comes to buying whiskey, because you've got to buy it from the state-controlled stores. Let's see. Chris Johnson says, I made a comment on a post about small lump charcoal, and I had asked how you deal with a little scrap. When I've got done, I remember that post. Somebody posted a picture of a charcoal bag that had, it looked like it had about a pound or maybe a pound and a half of what looked like mostly dust in the bottom of the bag. There's 2 ways to deal with that. First of all, I don't worry about it too much. I've been burning lump charcoal since 2012, 2013. And I have used a lot of different brands, mostly Kamado Joe, because Kamado Joe provided me with lump for a long time. And I still have some lump that Kamado Joe provided me. But I have also used extensively. I've used B&B. I've used Royal Oak. And I'm going to claim that I've used rockwood because for a while, several years back, Kamado Joe, before they started buying the South American hardwood lump, Kamado Joe was buying rockwood and bagging it and relabeling it as Kamado Joe. So I've got a pretty good experience. A pretty good amount of rockwood's been burned through my grills. I've burned, those are the four that I've, if I wanted to make a claim of burning at least 100 pounds of a brand, those are the four brands that I've burned at least 100 pounds of, and I've burned a lot more than that on several of them. But you're going to see these posts on social media or in the Kamado Joe group all the time. People complain about charcoal. People expect charcoal to be the size of a football. They want these large chunks, and you're going to come across bags that just don't look like that. I've got when I get Kamado Joe Big Block here, I was getting it by the pallet, which has 40 bags on it, and even on that pallet, you would think that that pallet should be fairly consistent on what's in those bags because it's been all handled and packaged and moved around about the same amount, but it's not the case. I'll have some bags that have a lot of big pieces in it, and I'll have a lot of bags that have small pieces in it. And here's how I'm going to quantify that. If the charcoal is big enough to where it doesn't fall straight through my basket, I'm good with it. I got no problem with it whatsoever. And in a lot of cases, when you've got that dust is going to fall through your basket down into the ash pan on the bottom of your grill. It's going to fall through, but it's going to burn. It is going to burn, and it's going to produce heat. It's not wasted because even though it's a little tiny bit of dust and little tiny pieces that may ignite and burn quickly, they're still going to produce heat. So put it in the grill. Put it in there, cook with it. It needs to be mixed with some larger pieces so the air can flow. If you've got a basket full, well, you can't really have a basket full of that because it's going to fall through, but if you've got a basket full of pieces that are just barely large enough to where they won't fall through, it's still going to burn fine. And it's especially going to burn fine if you've got a temperature controller. If you've got a fan running like I do most of the time when I cook, with my fireboard, you can put whatever you want in there and it's going to run, and it's going to run well. So I don't throw a lot of charcoal out, but that one photograph that came up yesterday or today, I probably would have just thrown that in the garbage, to be honest with you. I wouldn't have dumped that in my grill, even on top of other charcoal. I would have thrown it away, I would have opened up another bag, and I wouldn't have thought twice about it. I'm not one to go to social media and post about stuff like that. I mean, I guess people consider themselves public service warriors about, alerting the rest of the community. But my philosophy on that, and I've said it so many times, that one of my New Year's resolutions is going to be to never say it again. But here it is, and I'm going to make this the last time I say this. If you have a problem with that, then you should switch to briquettes. I'm 100% honest on that. Briquettes are fairly uniform sized pieces. You're not going to have all that dust. You're just going to have a lot of ash when you're done. It's got to be cleaned out. But every bit of charcoal, yes, Luca, I'm saying never because you're not going to hear this from me again after tonight. But every brand of charcoal you come across, you're going to find bags like that. And if you're going to swear off of that brand of charcoal, every time you find one of those bags, within a year or two, there won't be a lump charcoal that you'll buy. So mark my words, if you see me say that again, call me out on it, because I will send you a prize. I will send you a nice prize if you ever hear me or if you ever see me post that on social media again. You won't. I've said it till I'm blue in the face, and the problem with social media is it doesn't matter how many times I say it. If I say it today, a couple hundred people might see it, but we're going to have a couple hundred new ones tomorrow that won't see it. I'm going to stay out of charcoal debate. It's not worth it. Charcoal does not make or break a cook. If you blame a cook failure on your charcoal, you really do need to reevaluate what you're doing. Charcoal is not the reason a cook fails. Sharon's with me. Heck yeah. Fist bumps. Laurie's asking me about Jealous Devil. When I did my charcoal test several months back, Jealous Devil was one of the ones I tested, and it was middle of the pack. And I created what I thought was a fairly objective test on how hot charcoal burns and how long it'll burn at a given temperature. I was as objective as I could be without creating a truly scientifically controlled environment. But Jealous Devil didn't impress me. Kamado Joe outperformed Jealous Devil. Jealous Devil, I'm not a real good sort. I'm just going to stop with that. Jealous Devil didn't perform as well as some of my other ones, but I have limited experience with Jealous Devil. I bought 2 bags of it. I paid for it. I was not given the charcoal, and I have burned all of 1 bag, and I did the test. I used 4 or 5 pounds of that charcoal to do my 2 tests with it, and they didn't do that well. And I used the rest of that bag to cook with, and it cooked fine, but it didn't perform well in my tests. I've got another bag of it here that I haven't opened yet. It's actually in my queue. I'll start burning that bag this week. But my overall opinion of Jealous Devil is for the price. For me, if you've got a local source for it, I'd buy it. I don't have a problem with it. But if you've got, I would compare it with everything else you have to compare it with. If you can compare it against Kamado Joe, do that. I got a little better performance out of Kamado Joe, but my 2 best performing charcoals in my test, this is odd because one of them was the most expensive one of the batch, and the other one was the cheapest one of the batch. The cheapest one in the batch, which was the red bag Royal Oak that you can buy at Walmart, it outperformed everything, but it was very close with Rockwood. But Rockwood cost over twice as much. Rockwood, I think, rang in at $1.60 a pound, and I don't remember the per pound number on the Royal Oak, but I think I paid $14 or so I paid less than $10 for a 14 or 15 pound bag. It was like $9.88 for 14 or 15 pounds. For some reason or other, 68 cents a pound's ringing a bell with me, but it may have been 86 cents a pound. I don't know, but it was right at about half the cost of the Rockwood, and it performed. It burned longer and hotter by my test, but it was close. Those 2 charcoals are very close. But Jealous Devil, it's gonna cook. It didn't burn as long for me. Didn't burn quite as hot. The Rockwood and the Royal Oak Royal Oak is going to be one of my two go-to charcoals from here on out, and I'm going to tell you why. It's made the exact same way rockwood charcoal's made, and I learned a lot during this test, and I got some feedback from a couple of manufacturers on it, one of which was Rockwood. And if you've ever held this charcoal in your hand, like Rockwood or Royal Oak, and compared it to something like Kamado Joe Big Block or Jealous Devil or Fogo, those all come from basically the same kinds of wood. The the South American hardwood feels heavier, it feels denser for the same size chunks, and you're thinking in your mind that higher density and that heavier charcoal is going to burn longer, hotter, better, but it's not actually the case if the information I have is correct. But based on my testing, I have to believe that it is, because it goes along with what I was told and it goes along with the results I saw. The rockwood and the royal oak are fully carbonized. All of the volatiles have been cooked out of that during the charcoal making process. The reason these South American uh, pieces feel denser and heavier is because they are heavier. I don't know if they're actually denser, but they've got more water content and more volatiles left behind because it is not fully carbonized. And one of the things I see it most frequently with Kamado Joe Big Block is the complaints about this charcoal producing these chemical flavors. The term chemical comes up, and I don't really know how that's defined because I've never experienced this myself, and I've burned hundreds of bags of this charcoal, but I do believe that sometimes that charcoal's not getting fully carbonized. And when you look at how these charcoals are made, you can see how this would happen. Kamado Joe used to have this on their website, and since Masterbuilt bought them out, this is gone from the website now. But Bobby Brennan, when he owned Kamado Joe, he went down to Argentina and he took a photographer with him. He took one of the guys with him, and they made a beautiful photo essay on how their charcoal is made. And when you look at these great, they make these big. They look like huge igloos. They're dome shaped buildings that are rock. They're put together. They're blocks that are put together, and they light a fire. They stack these things full of that hardwood, and they build a fire in there, and it burns, and it carbonizes. It's burning in a low oxygen environment, which causes the wood not to burn up, and it leaves the coal behind. But this is far from a controlled environment like you would have in the process where charcoals like rockwood are made and charcoals like royal oak are made. The process where the royal oak and the rockwood are made is a lot more controlled, and they can more easily know exactly when that carbonization process is complete. And it turns out that fully carbonized charcoal, it is going to be lighter weight. It's not going to feel as dense, and it's going to have a ting to it when you hit it up against something. It makes a completely different sound when you tap on it than the South American stuff. But that fully carbonized charcoal burns hotter. It will burn hotter than the stuff that's not fully carbonized, and it will burn longer. My testing indicated that that was correct. So that's all I have to go on. So, buy what you like. Charcoal, in my opinion, is it's like the clothes we wear. We're making a statement about who we are when we buy a grill. Somebody wants to buy a Kamado Joe, or they want to buy a Traeger, or they want to buy a Big Green Egg. You're buying into not only that grill and its capabilities, you're buying into that community of people who uses that product. Charcoal's the same way. You know, there's people out there banging the Fogo drum. There's people out there banging the Jealous Devil drum. There's people out there banging the Kamado Joe Big Block drum. Uh, I don't know how many of these people actually test to see which one really performs better. There's there's a lot of anecdotal evidence out there that you keep hearing, and the everybody loves to say this burns hotter, or it burns longer, or it burns cleaner. And you know, all I have to say to that is, if you're happy with it, then keep right on cooking with it. I'm not going to try to change your mind on it, but I know what I'm using. I've come to the setup that I'm going to have two charcoals. And the main reason I'm going to do that, I may narrow down to one, and if I do narrow down to one charcoal, it's going to be Royal Oak. And I've got two Kamado Joe Classics on my deck out here, plus the Kamado Joe Pellet Joe. And I've got the Joe Jr. also. But the current setup I have with my two Kamado Joe Classics, I've got the Classic 2 and I've got the Classic 3. And I've designated my Classic 3 as the meat grill. And on that grill, I can burn basically whatever kind of charcoal I want. And I'm going to burn up all of the Kamado Joe charcoal that I have left in that grill before I put anything else in it, because I've probably got 20 bags. Well, I don't think I've got 20. I might have 15 bags of Kamado Joe Big Block left, but my Kamado Joe Classic 2 has been designated as my clean grill. I'm using that grill for cooking things that are not meats, not proteins. Like if I want to cook mac and cheese, or if I want to cook pizza, or if I want to cook a loaf of bread, or if I want to cook a pie, or if I want to bake a cake, I'm using that grill, and I'm using the super clean burning Rockwood or Royal Oak charcoal, because those charcoals are not imparting a smokiness that might not work well with what I'm cooking there. There's it's not good to bake a loaf of bread and then have it have a big smoke profile, because some of the breads I've cooked in the past, where I have cooked them on the other grill, they've been inedible, just because of the, and I haven't added smoke wood. It's just from smoke that's coming from left behind grease residue, and from the charcoal itself. When the charcoal, like the Kamado Joe Big Blocks, when a charcoal's not fully carbonized, that charcoal is going to have a smoke profile that's noticeable. And that's good in a lot of cases. Don't get me wrong, that's not a bad thing. It's that smoke profile that comes from a charcoal that's not fully carbonized is a good thing. And the reason it's a good thing is because I can get enough smoke profile from that charcoal alone that I don't need to worry about adding a smoke wood to it. It produces enough on its own that it's going to get the job done. So there's that. Yeah, Sharon says she's wondering how I've done that. Sharon, next time you want to bake something in your Kamado, cook a pizza beforehand or something. Get your grill good and hot, or do a clean burn at 600 degrees for 30 or 40 minutes before you do it. And go get yourself a bag of Royal Oak at Walmart, or get a bag of Rockwood. And when you want to bake, or when you want something that's not going to be overpowered by smoke, use this charcoal. Use the Rockwood, or use the Royal Oak, and come back and tell me how that works for you. Tom, yeah, I'm the same way. Pizza in the pizza oven. Yeah. Tom, did you buy the 4 pizza? Do you have the same one I have? The same Alpha that I have? I think you do, if I remember correctly. I think you bought that same oven I have. But Sharon, yeah, give that a shot. It's gonna change the way you think about bacon on the Kamado. The last thing I did, Chris, I have not tried Blues Hog. I don't have a source for that. Uh, I need to. I'll try it if I can find some, but I'm not one to mail order a whole lot of charcoal. I've done it on occasion, like with this Jealous Devil, because I don't have a local source. I can buy Rockwood locally. I can buy Royal Oak locally. Uh, I can buy B&B. That's one I don't know if I mentioned before. B&B is at Academy Sports, and that's pretty good coal also. So, Chris, I'll try that. Guys, Chris Tapp's with us tonight. Chris is out. I can't remember the name of the community, but it's just south of Memphis, Tennessee. And Chris runs a deli out there called, oh man, the name's slipping my mind. Chris, give us a link to your website while you're here with us. Uh, Louie's Deli and Meat Market. It's Chris's Deli. And I got the opportunity to meet Chris at it's in Arlington, yeah, Arlington, Tennessee. I got the opportunity to meet Chris at Atlanta Grill Company, and Chris brought me some of his sausage. And guys, that stuff is off the hook. Uh, if you're ever out that way, you definitely have to visit him. Chris, are you doing a mail order business on that sausage? I'm not sure if he's doing. I don't know if he does mail order or not. I hope he does. And yeah, I was in Memphis not long ago, and Chris found out about it, and he fussed at me for not coming to visit him. But I was there on a Monday, and Chris is not open on Monday. so, uh, but I promise you, I'm going to be back in Memphis, and the next time I'm in Memphis, I'm coming by. It'll be on a Tuesday through Saturday for sure. Yeah, I'll be stopping in because I'm going to be stacking up on some more of that sausage. It's good stuff. So, like I said, tell me what you think about live streaming a couple of Zoom things. I've got some friends in the social media community that I think might be fun to have some back and forth conversation with as a live stream. And the whole deal is if I do this, the only thing that's making me think about it, it's going to cost me $150 to buy a year's professional level membership with Zoom. I don't have a problem with that. I don't make money. I don't make anything doing these live streams, so I don't get a return on investment for that. But I think at $150, I think it'll be fun. I've got some of you here that come hang out with us every Friday night. Some of you are some of the people I'd like to bring online. And there's Louie's. Be sure and check out Chris's link there. Uh, Chris, we we put together. Chris was involved with. Chris was at the Air Force. Were you Air Force or was it? Uh, Chris kept sending me some pictures from some clandestine locations in the Middle East where he used to work, and they were honestly some of the most beautiful pictures I've seen. Where you would see something like uh, some of these high-tech drones in a hangar, and some beautiful sunset off behind it, and yeah, Air Force. Okay, and we put together a care package and shipped it to Chris out there through the APO or the APO address, and because Chris was out there in the desert where it's nice and hot, he was cooking. He was cooking for all these people that he works with out there, and he was keeping the fires burning. So I got together with Matt Pittman out at Meat Church and the guys down at Atlanta Grill Company, and we sent Chris a care package to the desert. and then when I finally got to meet Chris at Atlanta Grill Company, Chris was in the process of opening this deli, and he is stocking some of the Atlanta Grill Company rubs out there, which include my Man Cave Meals AP stuff. And so Yeah, that was interesting. It's fun to get to meet some of you guys. I don't get to meet all of you face to face, but when Atlanta Grill Company has an event, hopefully you should come out. And this year has been purely horrible. We didn't get to do either of our big on-site events at Atlanta Grill Company, but uh, hopefully 2021 is going to be a lot better to us than 2020's been, and we're going to do multiple events on site at Atlanta Grill Company. And when these things are announced and verified, I'm going to be posting about them. I'm going to be telling you, and you guys are going to have to come down. We have some good times with that. So that's that. Uh, I don't think I've really got much anything else. Like I said, I didn't have an agenda for tonight. I've just gotten into the habit of doing this, and I wanted to keep doing it. So if things go well, I'll still try to come in next Friday night. Next Friday night will be New Year's Day. So hopefully you guys will all be done with your hangovers by then. And Sharon, I don't know about the COVID vaccine, but thanks for asking. That I'm really concerned about that. And here's the deal. I could have had it already had I not been participating in Pfizer's clinical trial. My wife and I both signed up for Pfizer's clinical trial on the COVID vaccine, and we both started that in September. And uh, the hospital that I work for is providing vaccines for the frontline workers now, and I could have had one through them, but I'm not able to do it because the clinical trial people can't tell me yet whether or not I've had a placebo or I've had the actual vaccine. I've been hounding them about that, and the best thing they can tell me is that their participants in my area that got the placebo are going to be offered the real vaccine, and that they've already been provided those doses, but I don't know when I might have an opportunity to get one. So that's where I stand on the COVID vaccine. I don't know if I've had it yet. There's a 50-50 chance that I have, but I won't know more. I'm going to try to get some more information on that soon because I'm fearing that participating in this clinical trial may delay me in getting it. So, yeah, the trial I think is a noble thing, but whether it's noble or not is not my goal. My goal in getting involved in that trial was purely selfish. Well, I won't say it's purely selfish. My objective is to reduce my chances of infecting my mother or my wife's parents with COVID. And the possibility of getting the vaccine early will help with that. And that's the only reason I participated in the clinical trial. Uh, Both of my wife's parents and my mother are both, they would be very high risk if they would be very high risk if they interacted with COVID. So we'll see what happens. Uh, yeah, I just don't know, and it's something that's bothering me. That the fact that I don't know that I've had the vaccine, and I may be missing the opportunity to get it through my employer. So somebody said AGC's in the house. Tom is or Jeff is Gary with us this evening? Gary White, are you out there? Are you watching? Apparently he is, because everybody's talking to Gary. So if you guys don't know who Gary is, uh, Gary is the face of Atlanta Grill Company. Uh, Gary's where a lot of us spend a lot of money. Gary, I hope you and your family had a Merry Christmas. Jeff's coming to see you next Saturday, he says. Jeff can't get in and out of there without spending a couple $100, and I'm pretty much the same way. it's hard to follow who all's in here. I'm having to look at two different places. So, Merry Christmas. There he is. That's Gary. Gary's with us. So, that's another thing. That's another reason I want to get the Zoom premium membership or the professional memberships. This live streaming that I'm doing here, I want to do some additional live streaming on the Atlanta Grill Company fan zone group and on the Atlanta Grill Company Facebook page. And I think Zoom will give me the opportunity to do some more of that. So I think I'll go ahead and work on setting that up. And in the meantime, tell me if I interviewed people or if I had people in a roundtable discussion to go in a live stream on Friday nights. Tell me who you'd like to see. Who would you like to have participating in that? I've got one or two that I know I would want to do that are here in our social media community, but I wouldn't be limited to who I could invite on. So tell me what you think. And with that, I'm going to hang it up. It's been a long day. I'm going to kick it back and relax for the rest of the evening. It's been a busy day here. Jimmy said he had Zoom. Jimmy, did you live stream with Zoom? What I'm looking at doing here is live streaming to Facebook with Zoom, and I'm trying to figure out how well I can integrate my Mevo live streaming camera into that process, or if I'm going to have to use the onboard camera on either my laptop or on my Android tablet here to make that happen. Yep. Alrighty, guys. Thanks a lot. And yeah, I'm going to try to be back here next Friday. I may even run down to what. For those of you that aren't in North Carolina, if you ever hear me refer to the ABC store, that's where we have to go to buy spirits in North Carolina. It's state controlled. I may run down there and see if I can get something new. I've got my whiskey and bourbon inventory right now. I've got some Jack Daniels. I've got this single barrel that I really like. I've got the single barrel proof that we're having tonight. I've got the Sinatra Select. I've got some Elijah Craig, and I've got some Four Roses, but I'm thinking about trying something new. I might pick up a new bottle of something. So if you've got a recommendation on something, let me know what it is. I'm trying to stay away from the rye whiskeys right now. I'm not ready to go there yet, so let me know what you think. Until next week, guys, have a good week and Merry Christmas.